As we reflect on 250 years of American history, we remember the roots of how our country was founded, and for many colonists, it was to flee religious persecution by the Church of England. The Basilica of St. Mary of the Immaculate Conception is the first Catholic parish in Hampton Roads. Founded in 1791, it has quite the history, as 10 on Your Side's Karina Garcia shows us. Karina?
Yeah, Aisha, well, putting 200 years of history into one story, we just don't have the time for that. When we're talking about the history of the Basilica of St. Mary and the contributions it had not just to the city of Norfolk, but into transforming the African-American identity in Virginia, 2 minutes is just not going to cut it. But there's so many stories of faith and of resilience here, and the people we spoke to today allowed us to understand, give us a glimpse as to why this historical building matters so much. For Karen Paige-Womack, this church has always been a part of her life. Only recently did she discover it's also been a big part of her family's story for generations.
I see where my great-great-grandparents, listed as colored, James Fuller was baptized in 1845, the very first black city councilman. And I'm proud to say my son, John Page, is the 5th black city councilman for the city of Norfolk. And it all began in 1848.
Those records tell more than just her family's history. They help tell the story of this church.
It was around 1789 when they lifted the ban on Catholicism in the Commonwealth of Virginia. In the borough of the city lived Greeks, Irish, free blacks, and enslaved blacks. For everyone worshiped together.
That inclusion set this congregation apart, but it also made them a target. So African-American Catholics built St. Patrick's Church just a few blocks away, only for it to be burned down in 1856 by a group known as the Know Nothings.
We suspected they were anti-Catholic and segregationists. This crucifix, the body of Christ, is one solid piece of wood. This survived the fire of 1856.
St. Mary's was built in 1858, but equality didn't come with it.
The slaves and the free persons of color worshipped up here. They were required to sit up here.
More than 150 years later, renovations uncovered yet another piece of the church's past.
The tunnel that they have is approximately 3 feet wide, has a flat floor, has a double brick wall on the side, and a dome ceiling.
Members believe that tunnel was part of the Underground Railroad.
There were people here in the 1800s during slavery, hiding people in the walls of this very church.
And today, it stands as the only African-American basilica in the country, with history wired deep in Norfolk.
And you discover that your other great-grandfather set out to freedom. And in his own words, I was set free, for they put me on a boat in the Elizabeth River outside of the church with the steeple.
Yeah, and me and Karen had a conversation of upwards of an hour today, and essentially she tells me that this basilica is meant to represent what America is today. It's a place that welcomes people of all origins and backgrounds. Live in Norfolk, Karina Garcia, 10 on Your Side.